Today, I'm going to show you how to add puddles to your landscape in Unreal. Let's go! Alright, so last week I showed how to add weather effects to our terrain in Unity. Weather effects are a pretty complex topic that takes quite a bit of effort. So in order to not make the video too long, I didn't show how to do it in Unreal. So the video was pretty much a Unity exclusive last week. This week it's Unreal's turn. So I'm going to show how to add these puddles here to our landscape. So let's just jump right in. So here is our landscape shader that we've been working on. And we blend between the material on our slopes and the material on our grass, and we add snow. And then we come up here, and this is where we want to add our puddles. So we blend all of our layers together here, and then we use the Get Material Attributes node to unpack them. And what we need to do is here, in between these two steps, we need to create a mask that will allow us to determine where our puddles are going to go. So we need to create a new material function that does this that we're going to call Weather Puddles Landscape. Now, if we take a look at my backlog of videos that I've created, by the way, my channel has over 300 video tutorials and counting. So if we take a look at my backlog of videos, this is a topic that I've covered already, and this is where we want to look. We're looking at episode 29 of our Building Worlds in Unreal series. And by the way, I'm going to show you a bunch of different videos that we're going to be referencing today, and I will link them down in the description in order so that you can see which videos you need to review in what order in order to achieve this effect. So this video is episode 29. It's called Landscape Puddles. And in this video, what we're going to do is create a material function called Weather Puddles Landscape. And this is what it looks like. So I'm going to assume that you pause this video right now, go back to episode 29, and build this material function, because this is what we're going to need for the next step. So, assuming you did this, this is what the material function looks like. And we can just go ahead and add it to our shader. So I'm going to open up my content drawer, and we're going to add this material function called Weather Puddles Landscape to our graph. Okay, so here is the material function that we just created following the instructions in episode 29. So what do I do now? So I wire in this material coming out of our landscape layer blend into the in, and you can see this takes a material attributes type input. This material function is also asking for a height, and so the height is also in my material attributes here. So what I need to do is add a Get Material Attributes node, and then come over here and add an output. And for the output type, my height is stored in my displacement channel. So I'm going to add a displacement output, which adds this output node, or this output port here. And I can just wire that directly into the height. And now it's asking for a masks. And what is that? That is a mask that determines where my puddles are allowed to go. So if there were specific spots on my landscape where I didn't want puddles, I could set up a mask to exclude those areas. So wherever that mask is black, I'm not going to get puddles. And where it's white, I am going to get puddles. So for example, if I had a river running through my landscape and I didn't want to generate puddles on the landscape that's under the river, I could create that mask for that area. In my case, I'm just going to hold down 1 and click and just give it a hard-coded value of 1 and pass that into my masks, which is saying that I want puddles everywhere. One thing that I could do in my case is I have the snow material, and if I didn't want puddles on top of snow, I could create a mask for that. But for now, what we're going to do is just leave that mask at a hard-coded value of 1. Okay, so there is the weather puddles landscape. And now I can take my result and wire it into my get parameters attributes input there. And then all of the attributes are split out and they go into the root node. So let's go ahead and save this and we'll switch back to our landscape. And now you can see that we have some pretty nice looking puddles. Now, when you first add yours to your landscape, you may not get anything. And that is because the material function has some exposed parameters that we need to take a look at. So let's take a look at here's our material. And what we're going to do is create a material instance and add that to the terrain instead. So I'm going to right click on our material and pick create material instance. And it's just called terrain auto 2 instance. And we're going to grab that and drop it into the slot instead. And then we're going to open this up and tear it off and float it on top there so that we can take a look at our exposed parameters. So here you see that we have some parameters that are in this group called weather. And we have several different ways of controlling our puddles. We have puddle accumulation, we have puddle color, and we have puddle opacity. And I think in episode 29, I actually had our puddle accumulation defaulting to 0, which would mean that when you first add that material function to your graph, to your material, you wouldn't have any puddles at all. So you need to create a material instance and then come into the instance and set your puddle accumulation to something else. The nice thing about this control is it allows you to control the size of the puddles. So what you're going to see here is as I dial up this value, our puddles are going to, hopefully, our puddles are going to start getting bigger. Let's go all the way to 1. Yeah, so there are puddles, and we can dial this down to shrink our puddles in size. And so this is something that you might control over time. Like as it's raining in your environment, you can slowly increase your puddle accumulation so that your puddles get bigger until they get to the maximum size. Okay, and then we can also control the opacity of the puddles. If we set our opacity to 0, you can see the puddles are reflective, but they show 100% of the color of the landscape underneath. And if we want our puddle color to show up, if we want our puddles to look kind of muddy, then we can set the puddle color to brown and then set our puddle opacity to 1. And now you can see that we're getting that brown color mixed in with our terrain as well. So that kind of gives a little bit more realism to the effect. All right, now you might be saying, yeah, that's all well and good, Ben, but the puddles are looking kind of dead. They're really boring right now. You just made puddles that are completely flat and there's no animation going on here whatsoever. Who's going to want a puddle that looks like that? And you're absolutely right. So there's another step that we need to add here. We need to create some animated effects for our puddles. We need to add some ripples for wind that's blowing across the puddles. And we need to add another kind of ripples for rain when rain is falling. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll switch back to our shader. And I'm just going to dock my material instance here so we can come back to it later. So we'll come back to our material here. And what we need to do is come over here where our normals are and add a new material function here in between our normal output of our get material attributes node and our normal input on our root node here. And the reason that I didn't put those normals in our weather puddles landscape material function is because you might want to use a virtual texture for your terrain. And if you do that, you need to render to your virtual texture right here. And so what happens is this part of the terrain that is static and not animated gets rendered into the virtual texture in between here and here. And then any animated effects that have to update every frame, we have to do that after we read the virtual texture. And so I've split up this effect so that this is the part of the effect that's not animated, where we create the puddles themselves. And then the part of the effect that is animated, we can do here, and we can render to our virtual texture and then read from our virtual texture in between. Now, you might not be doing that, but if you're using a virtual texture, you need to split up these effects so that you create your puddles before the virtual texture, and then you create the animated portion of your puddles after the virtual texture. So for the animated ripples, we're going to add a material function that's called weather puddle ripples. And it looks like this. And there are two different types of ripples that we're going to have. We're going to have weather wind ripples, and we're going to have weather rain ripples. And in order to create this material function, I'm going to also point you to another video. This is landscape puddle ripples, and it's episode 30. And you're going to end up creating a material function that looks like this. And this is what creates the rain ripples. And this episode, episode 30, will refer you to an earlier episode, episode 16, which shows you how to make episode 17, which shows you how to make the wind ripples, and episode 16, which shows you how to or create the rain ripples. So you're using episode 30, which references episodes 17 and episode 16. So in total, for this tutorial, you're looking at episode 29, episode 30, episode 17, and episode 16. And the reason I'm pointing you to these instead of just showing you how to do it all is because it would take like an hour to show you how to do all this material. But in this case, you can reference these episodes when you get the time to build these things. So when you're all done, you're going to end up with a material function called weather puddle ripples. And we're going to go ahead and add that now. So I'm just going to search for weather puddle ripples. And there it is. And I can just drag it into our graph here. And we're going to wire the output normal from our get material attributes node. And then we're going to wire the result in as a replacement for our normal. And this mask here is a mask for where the puddles appear. So I can just come over here to our weather puddle landscape material function and wire the mask across. So now I've created the animated ripples for our puddles, and I can hit save here and come back to our landscape. And you can see that we've got some nice wind ripples blowing across our puddles now. Our puddles are no longer kind of boring and flat and dead. We've got some wind ripples, but we don't have rain ripples. And why is that? Well, let's take a look at our material instance again. And we'll just open this up. And you can see now we've got two new parameters added. We've got puddle wind and we've got puddle rain. And these are exposed parameters that came from our weather puddle ripples material function. And they allow us to control what the ripples look like in the puddles. So if I turn up puddle wind is set to 0, which makes the wind kind of weak looking. But if I turn this up, you can see it strengthens the wind. And if my weather is raining, I can turn on rain and set rain to 1. And now you can see I get really nice looking ripples in my puddles as well. And the nice thing about this rain parameter is that I can dial it back. So if I just have a little bit of rain, I can set this to a value that's less than 1 and just get kind of like little sprinkles going on here. So now I've got just a little bit of drizzle happening. But as I dial this value up, I get more and more ripples until if I give it a value of 1, then I get full rain ripples happening in my puddles. Okay, so with these two material functions that we've created, we're able to create a material mask that controls the size and shape of my puddles. We are able to add a parameter here that gives us control over the color of the puddles and the opacity of the puddles. I can set that to 0 and get, you know, puddles that are relatively transparent. And I'm also able to control the strength of the wind ripples and the amount and strength of the rain ripples. So, pretty cool. I've got a full controllable parameterized puddle here. And you can see that these material functions are going to add these puddles procedurally all over the terrain. So I've got puddles here, and I'll get puddles over here. And the way that these puddles are set up, they only get added to flat areas. So you can see I've got puddles added here, but then on slopes like this, I'll never get a puddle appearing over here. The material function called Weather Puddles Landscape is set up to only add these puddles in areas that are flat. So I'll get puddles along this flat path here, but never on the sloped areas like that sandy area there. All right, hope this tutorial was useful for you. I know there's a lot of jumping around to go to episode 29 and episode 30 and episode 17 and episode 16. But as I said, creating these weather effects is pretty complicated, and to cram it all into one video would just be too much. So I hope it is kind of convenient that I've split it up this way so you can see how to create the puddle mask first, and then you can add the animated effects and create the wind ripples and the rain ripples as separate effects that are viewable in all of those separate videos. All right, hope you enjoyed today's video and that you can follow along to add these dynamic puddles with wind and rain ripples to your terrain. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great week.